Thank you for staying with us. And now to court matters where a Kano State High Court has issued an order to prevent federal agencies from interfering with monthly funds allocated to Kano's 44 local government councils. The ruling made on Monday by Justice Ibrahim Musa Muhammad followed an ex-parte motion filed by members of the National Union of Local Government Employees, NULGE, and other concerned citizens. The court authorized 7 documents on the Accountant General's Office, Central Bank of Nigeria, Revenue Mobilisation Commission, and 8 banks. Justice Muhammad's interim injunction bars these agencies from withholding or altering these funds until further court proceedings. The case, highlighting concerns over delayed local allocation, is scheduled for a November 21st hearing. And to unpack this, we're joined by Abdul Latif Abubakar Jos, editor-in-chief of Solace-based online newspaper. He joins us from Yanogwa in Bayelsa State. Good evening. Glad to have you join me on the news.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
All right. What implications could this court order have for relationship between Kano State and federal authorities over local government funding?
Thank you very much. The case, if you look at it critically, it's a preemptive move by the party and because there was a court ruling, there was a court order that stopped the local government election from taking place on 26th of October, that is from a federal high court. Meanwhile, there was another court order by a Kano State High Court that granted the State Independent Electoral Commission the privilege, the right to conduct the election. So there was this conflicting judgment, sort of. And prior to that time, there was two orders from the state high courts. One from a federal high court that said, don't do the election. 2 said, do the election. So when they conducted the election, so after conducting the election, it was a preemptive move by the parties, believing that subsequently there might be moves to stop the federal allocation from coming to the state, taking it to whereby the federal state. That was why they decided to embark on a preemptive move before there could be any move by aggrieved parties to go to court to stop the allocation of the state. So that was why they were able to get. That was why the plaintiff were able to get a court in interim ex-parte order that stopped all the federal fiscal, the Attorney General, the Accountant General of the Federation, and the 8 commercial banks involved, not to stop the allocation of the state.
You talked about different court orders regarding these election for local government in Kano State. Let's talk about the impacts of this ruling, for instance, on the financial autonomy of Kano's local government. And do you think it can set a precedent for other states?
It's so unfortunate that the judiciary, as we are presently, the judiciary is trying to be a clog in the wheel of progress in terms of our democracy. Because if you look at the conflicting judgment that we've been having, it's not only in Kano, it happens in Rivers, it happens in some other states like that, whereby you have conflicting judgment coming from different coordinate jurisdiction and coordinate power. So in this situation now, the Kano State government that conducted the local government election is banking on the fact that there was a state high court order that granted it the right to conduct the election. Meanwhile, there was a federal high court judgment that said, don't conduct the election. The federal high court judgment even said the composition of the State Electoral Commission was not even in order. The federal high court judgment dissolved even the electoral body of the state systematically, because it struck out about 5 members, including the chairman of the commission. So, and with this other one coming from the state high courts, it now shows that the courts are just giving conflicting orders, now creating the leverage for people, for government, and probably parties to obey which order suits them, sort of. So it's very, very critical that if care is not taken, and that is why I will plead with the present CJN to try as much as possible to address most of these issues so that it doesn't create more problem. Because the Kano State plaintiff in this suit embarked on preemptive move, as I said earlier, be taking into cognizance what happened in Rivers State. As we speak right now, there's a Federal High Court ruling judgment that stops the funding, that stops the allocation of the state. Statutory allocation, monthly statutory allocation. So that was what the parties in this particular case did with that of Kano.
Well, we do hope...
that is to tell...
You go ahead,
That is to tell you that with this situation now, the judiciary is the one creating problem in this part of the democracy that you're trying to protect.
Well, we do hope our judiciary system comes up with a unified system when it comes to dispersing verdicts. But thank you so much for your insight on the news. Abdul Latif Abubakar, Editor-in-Chief, Solace-based online newspaper, and you joined us from Yenogwa in Bayelsa State. Many thanks indeed.